Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Podcast. My name's Art, here with my brother Alex.
What's going on, guys? What's going on?
Alex, real quick, we haven't recorded in a while. Do you want to say something real quick?
Oh, yeah. I got symptoms of COVID. Luckily, I tested negative, so the show is back on the road. I had to quarantine a couple of days. Luckily, test came back negative. I was a little scared at first, but now I'm good to go.
And I also went to get tested just in case. I was also negative.
You didn't even go.
Yeah, I did. We had to go because of work.
I didn't see the results.
We had to go because of work.
You didn't go.
But now, so we decided to hold off on the recording. But now that we're back in recording, we will try to do a quick catch-up podcast. And then at the end, we'll be previewing what's coming up this weekend in both boxing and MMA. So let's get started real quick. Alex, let's start with boxing. I think the big fight of the weekend, in my eyes, was Jaron Ennis taking on Sergey Lipinets in a welterweight bout. Coming in, I thought this was a really good test for Boots Ennis, but he passed it fairly easily. What'd you think of Ennis's performance on Saturday?
I thought he looked really good. I thought he showed he was the real deal. Sergey Lipinets was no match at all. Unfortunately, I thought it was going to be a good test for him, and it really wasn't. I mean, I think Boots just passed it flying colors.
Yeah, I mean, Lipinets...
Literally flying colors. Look at his trunks.
Lipinets was a 140-pound champion, but Boots just really walked right through him without much issues. Boots is now considered a top 10 welterweight by Ring Magazine, which is... Those are the rankings I like. You know, Ring Magazine, WBC, WBA, WBO. There's a lot of politics and all that. So I like looking at the Ring Magazine rankings, and you know, he's in the top 10. I believe they have him at number 8, which is fair. How do you see his future prospects? I mean, you think he'll be a champion this year, or you think it'll take a while?
I don't know. I definitely think. To be champion at 147, that's a tough task, you know, especially right now with Crawford, Spence, Pacquiao being being the champion. Nah, you could probably take the belt from Ugas.
Ugas is tricky.
Yeah, he's tricky, but I don't know. I think the three main guys are Pacquiao, Spence, Crawford, and you know, so to be champion, you know, who knows what he's gonna have to do to get there? Is he gonna get a title shot with a guy like Ugas? You know, I don't think they'll, you know, put him in there with a guy like Virgil Ortiz. Like, do you think that they'll wait to put these type of fights together until one of these guys is champion?
Yeah, I think we're gonna us as fans and them as fighters are gonna have to wait to see those big fights, because, you know, it seems like the champions are kind of holding the division hostage. You know, not a lot of fights going on. Even the top names, you know, the Thurmans, the Porters, the Danny Garcia's, the top names at 147 that aren't champions are also kind of just holding out and not really fighting. So, I mean, it'll be a while until we see Ennis or Virgil Ortiz, like you mentioned, you know, fight one of these top names. And unfortunately, people are just going to drag their names through the mud. Oh, they're fighting so-and-so and they should be fighting champions already. Well, the champions also have to accept the challenges. So can't just blame these young cats. But I like what I see from Jaron Ennis. A few things that he needs to work on, but I think overall, solid fighter. Some of the fights on the undercard were pretty good. Dulorme, I thought, put on a good performance against Stanionis, even though he lost. I got questions about Stanionis after that. And then that first fight on Cajas versus Rodriguez was a war. That was a great 12-round fight. On top ranks card, Joe Smith Jr. beat Maxime Vlasov in a unanimous decision that was very close. Any thoughts on Joe Smith Jr.? They're trying to line him up for a unification with Beterbiev.
You know what? With a guy like Beterbiev, I don't know if you know how Smith Jr. you know kind of matches up with him, but you know what? I like to see Joe Smith, you know, yet again be world champion, because, you know, he's would he be considered a blue collar guy since he's got
I
like a
think that's what
construction job? And
I think,
why is he still working construction?
that was a big thing on Twitter over the weekend.
You're the champ. You don't need to work construction.
Apparently,
anymore.
he's not working construction anymore, and they're just using that storyline to up the ratings.
Okay, so they're lying to us, huh?
Yeah, but hey, anything that'll sell, right?
Yeah.
I like Joe Smith Jr. I think he's a great fighter. Happy to see him become the WBO champion. However, a unification with Beterbiev, I don't think is in his best interest. I think he could probably make a little more money, take a mandatory fight and then unify. But, Top Rank, I'm sure, is trying to make one of these guys, either Beterbiev or Smith. Like, they got to make them some money.
Yeah, no, but it's Smith. Who's a more marketable guy, Beterbiev or Smith? Because it's kind of a toss up. I mean, are either of them marketable?
I don't know. Like Beterbiev, Russian, so I mean, he's not gonna do well with the American audience just because of that fact. He's a great fighter, great exciting style, but he's Russian. And then Joe Smith Jr., he's American, that blue collar, like you said earlier, but is he really an attractive fighter? And he's just not,
Not too many people talk about him.
And then in this fight against Vlasov, he really struggled. So I don't know. Vlasov is a tricky guy though. So I kind of expected this, but against Beterbiev, there will definitely be fireworks because there's no slipping and sliding in that fight. And Vlasov is that type of herky-jerky type of fighter. Also on the undercard, the Top Rank undercard, there was some good heavyweight knockouts. I don't know if you saw any of them, but there was good heavyweight knockouts. If you guys want to go and check those out, worth your while. So that's it for the boxing from last weekend. We'll jump to MMA. Ryan Bader took out Lyoto Machida on Friday night. Bader moves on in the light heavyweight Grand Prix that Bellator is putting together. Thoughts on this fight? I mean, there's not much to say.
Yeah, I mean, it was a boring fight where it seemed like Bader just dominated. It seemed like he was just too big for Lyoto Machida. Machida couldn't get up every time he got taken down.
And he couldn't even
stay there the entire round.
Yeah, he couldn't even stay up either. He couldn't. Takedown defense was bad. Bader's looking for that rematch, the guy who took the title from him. That'll be interesting if they both make it to the final. In the UFC, Vettori, Marvin, I believe his name is, right? Marvin Vettori, beat Kevin Holland. Holland stepped in, on 10 days notice? Something like that.
Yeah.
After Darren Till broke his collarbone. Thoughts on Vettori?
Yeah, I mean, I think he did what he had to do to squeeze out the win. I mean, you take Kevin Holland down and he can't get up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he can't stop a takedown. So
yeah, that either.
I'm not sure what it is about Kevin Holland's training. I don't know if he needs to go to a AKA American Top Team somewhere where they can, they says, I read a comment that they need to ship him off to Dagestan.
That too.
Check in on him in 9 months and then come back.
Yeah.
When he's learned all the traits of his ground game, because so far from what we've seen, he has none. He can't stop the takedown, and when he does get taken down, he can't get back up.
Styles make fights, and we've seen him fight two wrestlers back to back, and it's just.
And don't get me wrong, it was definitely a boring fight because
it was terrible.
There's I feel like there's a difference when Khabib takes guys down because he actually keeps the activity. Mm-hmm. He's punching guys. He's
trying to beat you.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Kind of like Usman. Sometimes when he takes guys down, he punches and stuff like that. But it just when somebody just takes somebody down and they kind of just want to be in the advanced position for to control time on the clock. It's boring. Nobody wants to see that.
Yeah. I completely get it. And I think that's going to hurt Vettori in the long run. I know you told me he called out Adesanya. I didn't see the post-fight interview. Yeah. He called out Adesanya. Fights like this and performances like that just aren't going to do it,
I don't think that'll get him a rematch. But, I mean, hey, who knows? Depends what Israel Adesanya wants to do at that weight class. Who he wants to defend the title against. But I think he's on to bigger and better things,
Oh, of course. Definitely. And actually, we'll talk about that middleweight division a little bit later. Also on the card, the co-main event was Arnold Allen getting a nice unanimous decision win over Sadiq Youssef. Also on the undercard was, here we go, Julian Marquez beating Smiling Sam Alvey by submission. He choked him out, if I remember correctly, right? Any thoughts on Julian Marquez?
No, I mean, it looked like Julian Marquez was going to walk right through Sam Alvey, but Sam Alvey put up a good fight.
Yeah, he was.
I was impressed. He was, he stayed in there. It seemed like there was times where Julian Marquez is, going to end it in the first round.
Yep.
It got out of the first round, and it just seemed like Sam Alvey was able to come back here and there, but it just, Julian Marquez is one of these tough, strong. What is he, a 170 pounder?
Middleweight.
He's 185, so he's middleweight. Yeah, this dude's freaking yoked. Look at him. And for people that don't know who he is, he's the one that called out Miley Cyrus. He wanted Miley Cyrus to be his Valentine. Why? I don't know. But that's what he wants, right? I don't judge the guy.
No, I mean, hey, it worked. She replied to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He got a rear naked choke on Sam Alvey. Put him to sleep. Sam Alvey didn't tap. But, yeah, you know what? Good fight overall.
Very, very good performance by him. Also on the undercard, Mackenzie Dern got herself, bad crop. Mackenzie Dern got herself a nice arm bar submission against Nina Nunes, who is Amanda Nunes' wife.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts on Mackenzie Dern's submission? I mean, she's been looking good at, 125?
Yeah.
Strawweight, 125.
Yeah. Her last loss was to Amanda Ribas.
Mm-hmm.
Or her only loss, right?
Her only loss, I believe.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think she looked good. Especially, she got the submission with 13 seconds, 10 seconds left.
I believe there was 12 seconds left. Yeah.
Yeah. So, for Nina Nunes to tap with literally there was 4 seconds left. I mean, that just goes to show you what type of ground game Mackenzie Dern has. You know what I mean? I don't know if she's a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I can't remember. I don't know if I read that or not. But I do know that she's very skilled on the ground. So, yeah, that armbar was nasty.
Nina Nunes was ranked number 5 coming into this fight. Mackenzie Dern number 11. I'm sure that's going to change. And Mackenzie Dern, a big win over Nunes. And, she could leapfrog her and be a fight away from a title shot.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Also on the undercard, the telecast was oh crap, I lost his name.
Mike Perry versus Daniel Rodriguez.
Daniel Rodriguez. There we go. I couldn't remember his name. And this was a fun fight.
Yeah,
this was a good fight. Thoughts on Mike Perry, because Mike Perry seems to be, a little all over the place.
You know what? It was a fun fight because we didn't know who this Daniel Rodriguez guy was, right? I mean, this is more of a coming out party for him. It wasn't a good fight because it looked like Mike Perry really got his, he really took a beating in this fight.
He did, but he was there to fight. I
mean, he was there to fight, but I think Daniel Rodriguez was there to fight. Mike Perry was there to take it. You know what I mean?
Take the punches.
That's the side you don't want to be on.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And here's the thing with Mike Perry. This is the one that really upset me. Okay, because listen, I like Mike Perry. This dude, listen, when Mike Perry's in the octagon, he's gonna sling some leather. He packs power, and he has the ability to knock guys out. Listen, when he fought Mickey Gall, we said that this was the Mike Perry that, maybe he's rejuvenated, maybe he learned, maybe he's just, maybe he just evolved and he got better as a fighter. We didn't take into account that Mickey Gall looked like shit in that fight.
True.
Because Mickey Gall looked really bad. And then, Mike Perry fights Tim Means and loses to Tim Means. I thought Mike Perry should have won. He did not look good in that fight. I'm not sure what happened, but he did not look good in that fight. Loses to Tim Means. Then he gets matched up with this guy. Nobody knows who Daniel Rodriguez is. I didn't know who this guy was.
I believe he had that upset knockout not too long ago. I think last month, if if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Don't remember.
Might have, but yeah, I definitely did not know who this guy was. Let me tell you, he put a beating on Mike Perry, and I think this is a situation where Mike Perry. So from what I've seen on Instagram, is that Mike Perry has one more fight on his fight contract.
Okay.
One more fight. The UFC, I don't know if they will re-sign him, depending on his next fight. He has not looked good in his last 2 fights, including this one. It seems like Mike Perry is not the same Mike Perry. Like, okay. I feel like he's too tough for his own good.
You think his time has come and passed?
I don't know if that's the issue. I think the issue with him is just he's too tough for his own good. There is no head movement. There's no, like, he's not, I feel like he's not evolving as a fighter. Like, he's not, like, he has the tools. Like, okay, he has a good chin and he has great power. He's strong. He's a strong guy. So I don't understand what it is that he doesn't want to take advice from other people. It just seems like his striking's not evolving, or he's not evolving. Like, he's just stagnant, and he's a tough guy, but tough will only get you so far.
You think maybe his ego's getting in the way?
Yes. I feel like his ego's getting in the way. I feel like, it just, something is wrong. I don't know what it is, but, if Mike Perry isn't willing to do certain things to evolve and be good, this is what's going to happen. He's going to get matched up with guys that are willing to do what needs to be done in order for them to move up in the rankings. And unfortunately, I hope if this is Mike Perry's last fight, whoever he may fight next, and he doesn't get re-signed, hopefully he can go to somewhere where it makes sense for him, like bare knuckle boxing or something, something where he can make good,
some good money.
Yeah. But it just, if he doesn't go to a gym where they can, where he can evolve as a fighter and evolve his striking, evolve his ground game, just, take direction from somebody, then I just don't see where he can go, like as far as in the UFC.
You think he's hit his peak if he doesn't try to evolve?
Yeah, it seems like he's on a decline, like he's looking worse and worse. But then again, how much is that? Were you impressed by Tim Means in the when he beat Mike Perry?
No.
Yeah, right. Because Tim Means didn't really show like that. No. He was a special fighter. But this Daniel Rodriguez guy looked like he's like he was just stronger than Mike Perry, and that's something we don't see all the time. Like, yeah. There's not too many guys that are just as strong as Mike Perry. There's the guys more technical than him, but as far as just stronger, better, just more disciplined and just a better striker. And it seemed like Mike Perry didn't even try to go for a takedown or anything, So it's just like, that's why I feel like he's just not going to evolve. Maybe he's just going to be stagnant, and it sucks. But what do you think?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And you can see just with his antics the last couple of years, he, like you said earlier, his ego is getting in the way. And, if he really, maybe he's headed towards the end of his career. We don't know. Maybe he's trying to save all the money he can by not paying a trainer, not, saving some of this money. But at the same time, if you're going to keep fighting, he has to invest in himself.
I guess he does go train like at a gym or whatever, because I see on his Instagram that he goes and trains with people, but it seems like he doesn't make any like improvements or adjustments. It seems like he just chooses not to, or maybe he just got matched up with a good guy that's just is better than him. That's true. So we don't know. Where do you think he goes from here if the UFC doesn't re-sign him? What would be a good avenue for him to go to?
I think you brought up the bare knuckle thing. I mean, the bare knuckle BKFC is what's paying the most money. But as far as like him going to like Bellator or one championship, which is now on TNT, which is pretty cool. It just doesn't seem like that's going to be a path for him to take. I don't think so. It's going to have to be BKFC or
What about Bellator? You think Bellator might
I don't
sign
think
him
so.
or something? No?
I don't think so.
One championship? Anything like that?
I mean, maybe, but on a cheap contract. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't know. Mike Perry just hasn't done it for me in the last year or two. It just, the antics outside of the octagon plus his performances inside, just not, it's not something that I would want to promote.
Yeah. Well, enough about Mike Perry. What about Daniel Rodriguez? What do you think about him?
Yeah,
How do you look
like
in this
him.
fight? How'd you like him?
I like him. I think his offense was very, very strong. Good stand-up game. Didn't have to show too much defense, but he was just so offensive the whole time. He didn't really have to, slip punches or move around or anything like that. He just took it to Mike Perry the whole time. So the offensive skills are there, which is good. It's going to make for some exciting fights. He just looks like a rugged guy who's just going to, I don't know if he has a wrestling background or anything like that, but it doesn't seem like he's a wrestler or somebody who's going to get you in an armbar. He looks like somebody's going to, try to put a beating on you. Any last thoughts on UFC Fight Night from last week?
No, you know what? Overall, some good fights. Glad I got to watch them.
Good fights. The big card this weekend is, of course, the card on Triller. Jake Paul taking on Ben Askren. It's weird that this is the first fight we're talking about because it's the main event.
I know.
It's weird, man. Jake Paul 2-0, 2 knockouts. Ben Askren, first boxing fight. You're a good friend of ours, Killer Kylie Kliss, shout out to him, actually mentioned us on Instagram and asked if we thought Jake Paul could really throw hands. Do you have any thoughts on Jake Paul?
Like as far as what?
As far as him boxing or taking boxing seriously, anything like that?
Well, I don't think. I mean, I'm not gonna say that Jake Paul is taking it serious until he fights a notable guy. You know what I mean? But see, here's the thing: Jake Paul, he's not up there yet as to where he wants to be. Apparently, right?
Agree.
He wants to be like this. He wants to be a legitimate boxer, right?
Yeah.
Is that what he wants to be? He wants to be a legitimate boxer?
Yeah.
How old is he?
24? It says right there.
24 years old. Wow. I mean, he's young.
He's young.
But I don't know. I think he's just trying to make some money. I'll be honest. I think he's just trying to make some money and beat up on guys that, when you fight Nate Robinson, he's never been in a boxing ring. You're not. Jake Paul, I think, has sparred enough, has done his time in the gym in order for him to beat guys like this, right?
Okay.
The guys like Nate Robinson, the other YouTuber that he fought, but at least he's going to fight somebody who's been in a fight, right?
Oh.
So Ben Askren, I think, you know what? I'm looking forward to watching it. I think Ben Askren's going to beat him.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going with the upset. I'm going Ben Askren. You know why? Because I felt bad for Ben Askren, man. All right, he got knocked out in 5 seconds. It just, it seems like, the antics that Jake Paul, I'm not a fan, like when he's out there cheerleading. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? When Ben Askren was with his wife sitting at a table, Jake Paul comes in with all these hooligans, and they're doing this whole little cheerlead thing. Nobody wants to see that crap. Like, you could tell that thing was staged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The same thing when Ben Askren, pushes his face in and he slaps him on his stomach. Like, what is that? Like, and then he pushes him from behind. I feel like Jake Paul is trying too hard. I feel like he's not winning that side of the markability, right?
Okay, marketability, yeah.
Yeah. So I think I want Ben Askren to win. My only problem with Ben Askren is this. It's been said he's been training at Wild Card. In an interview that I seen, somebody said that Freddie Roach told somebody or told an interviewer or reporter, whoever the hell was interviewing Freddie Roach, that Ben Askren had only gone 1 week. That's what he said. If that's the case, that is very bad. Because I feel like you need to go to a Freddie Roach, Robert Garcia, somebody that will teach you to throw boxing combinations and just be in there with real boxers, because
head movement.
Yeah, it's, you know, the range, the timing, everything is different. So, you know, I'm going for Ben Askren. You know why? I don't like Jake Paul. Okay, I'm going Ben Askren. I hope he pulls the upset off.
In MMA, I was a huge Ben Askren fan. I really was. I thought he was going to beat Masvidal. We know how that went. I was just a huge fan of Ben Askren and his wrestling and all that. But in boxing, I think Jake Paul has taken it serious for long enough for me to say that he would beat a guy like Ben Askren. He's been training hard. He's been, I think he's just been dedicated to boxing. Now, I'm not saying, I think there's a fine line between a YouTuber fighting a guy like Ben Askren and then a YouTuber fighting like a professional boxer who is making their way up the ranks. I think Jake Paul is starting to toe that line, because he started with the YouTuber, then he got the basketball player. Now he's actually fighting an MMA fighter who, his stand-up isn't the best.
Right.
Jake Paul's starting to toe that line where he's going to run out of, or he's not going to be able to fight these YouTubers, these celebrities. The commissions will not approve him to fight these guys. He's going to have to fight an MMA fighter who can actually strike. He's going to have to fight a boxer who's actually been boxing for a long time. So,
but will they really? I feel like everybody has a price. Everybody has a price, and I feel like they will let it.
They'll let it slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Well, as long as they let it slide, I don't think I have a problem with this because, you got guys on the undercard who are getting paid. Regis Prograis, we'll talk about right now. Right. Lorenzo Simpson, 9-0. Steve Cunningham is fighting Frank Mir. They're both getting paid. We got Junior Yonan, who's 15-0-1, also on the undercard. Quentin Randall, 7-0 on the undercard. Joe Fournier, 8-0, also on the undercard. So these guys are actually professional fighters getting paid to be on this undercard, which is good. They're making their money. So that side of it is good because there's an undercard now for some of these guys to make money. However, when it comes to Jake Paul actually fighting guys, I think Jake Paul is taking it seriously, he's taking it more serious than any of the other YouTubers or celebrities that are trying to box and do things like that. He's actually doing all the sparring. He's doing all the training day in and day out, stuff like that. So I respect that part of it, but he's starting to toe the line. And I don't think, once he starts transitioning into trying to fight boxers who have been doing this for a very long time, I think then we'll see, if he's really, trying to make it in boxing or if he's just, in it for the money. But like you said, I think he's in it for the money.
Right.
But I think he's going to beat Ben Askren. Unfortunately.
Do you have a prediction of, does he knock him out?
I don't think he knocks him out. No.
You don't think he knocks out Ben Askren?
No, because Ben Askren is a fighter. And unless you could throw a flying knee, I don't think you're going to knock him out.
Okay. Hey, I can't wait to see it. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, I think Ben Askren is just too robotic for me. Like his movements are all.
He's very stiff, isn't he?
Very, very stiff. Very. I saw a video of him working out today, at the Triller.
Do you think that has anything to do with his hip that he had surgery on?
His hips, all the wrestling, all that. Like everything. All of it has an effect on him. And it's unfortunate, because I thought he was a great wrestler. I thought he was good at one championship. Obviously, in the UFC, he didn't have too much success. But, yeah, I think Jake Paul's going to beat him. I don't think he's going to knock him out or stop him. I think he is going to beat him, though.
What does Ben Askren need to do to win the fight? That's what I got. That's
honestly, he has to make Jake Paul uncomfortable.
Make it an ugly fight,
make it ugly, fight. Make it ugly, make it dirty. Make Jake Paul uncomfortable.
Yeah, you know what I was thinking? I was thinking that Ben Askren should go in, on the inside. If you guys got to come into a clinch, bend his arm, do something like where the ref can't see it. You know what I mean? Like
rub your forearm into his eyes and stuff like that.
You know what I mean? Just, like pull his trunks down, do something. You know what I mean? Like
hit him in the thigh when the ref is on. Yeah. If the ref is on this side, make sure you hit him on the thigh.
Don't do what Nate Robinson did. Don't do what he did. All right. Don't charge him. All right. Don't charge him. With no defense and just get caught with an overhand right multiple times. Okay, here's the thing. Does Jake Paul have more than an overhand right? Did you see anything in that Nate Robinson fight that would tell you that he has something else other than that overhand right? Because to me, it looked like Jake Paul was even a little like he wasn't comfortable in there. It just seemed like he knew what to throw to catch Nate Robinson.
Yeah, because Nate Robinson kind of showed him one way of the fighting, and Nate Robinson was going to charge him, and Jake Paul's like, okay, well, I'm just going to wait for you to come in, and I'm going to catch you with the right hand, and that's it. So that's all Jake Paul thought about. But, can he use his jab? I'm pretty sure he has a decent jab. I mean, I don't know if we'll see it against Ben Askren, but if I'm Ben Askren, I'm trying to make it as uncomfortable as possible. Don't let him try to box you. Don't let him try to stand on the outside and beat you with his speed. This guy is a lot younger than you, maul him.
Yeah.
Maul him.
And I feel like with this type of fight, I feel like the ref is going to let, some of the clinching go a little bit. You know what I mean? So? Like they're not going to be, what I mean is that they're not going to take points away.
Unless it's Jack Reese. Jack Reese will take
Yeah. It better not be Jack Reese, man. But what I'm saying is, like, I feel like they're going to let some of this stuff go, and if that's the case, Ben Askren needs to, if he needs to charge him when he's on the inside, push him up against the ropes, up against the corner, whatever he's got to do. Bend the arm a little bit.
Use your head.
Use your head. Rub your freaking
fro in his eyes.
Rub your fro all over his freaking
He should put some vapor rub in his hair and then kind of rub it in his eyes.
Yeah, he's got to do it. Whatever it takes to win, do it. I don't care.
If you guys are watching this and you guys work at a gym or something, don't do that.
Right. Don't do that. All right. But we know a lot of these dirty tricks.
Yeah. Those are good stories from back in the days.
All right. All in all, okay, one more thing. I got one more thing on this whole fiasco.
All right.
Why is Logan Paul on Ben Askren's, like, what is it? Is it like a talk show that he has on YouTube or something?
Ben Askren was on Logan Paul's talk show.
Why did Logan Paul have Ben Askren on his talk show?
Probably just trying to pump up the fight.
And why is Ryan Garcia, showing Jake Paul some moves, and then he's on the talk show with Ben Askren? Like, what is this?
Dude, they're just trying to get as many people to watch as possible.
I don't care, but this is like the whole thing. I don't understand this. Like, are they friends or are they not? I mean, I don't care if Jake Paul and Ben Askren are friends or not. But what I'm saying is, if they're giving tips to Jake Paul, why are they having each other on their talk show? Like, are they friends or are they not? Or are they trying to fool us into thinking that, this is a real fight? Or
they're just trying to take our money.
That's what it is, right?
Yep.
I knew it. Everybody has a price. All right, let's move on. I'm done. This isn't even a real fight. We'll just edit this out.
On the undercard, Regis Prograis taking on Ivan Redkach. Redkach, I don't believe we've seen since he beat Devin Alexander. Am I mistaken?
I thought this was Jake Paul and Ben Askren again.
With the afros?
Yeah.
Last time Danny Garcia beat
Ivan Redkach, right?
Beat Ivan Redkach. But before that, Ivan Redkach had a good win against Devin Alexander. So thoughts on this fight? I mean, obviously Regis Prograis, one of the best 140 pounders, moving up to 147, fighting Redkach, who at one time was a contender for a world title at 135, now fighting at 147.
When was the last time Regis Prograis fought?
I believe he fought not too long ago. Let me check that out real quick.
Has he had a fight since he lost to
Josh Taylor?
Taylor, yeah.
Yeah, Juan Heraldez. In October. Yep. That was on the undercard of Leo Santa Cruz, Tank Davis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So October was the last time he fought.
And this fight is at what, 147 or 147? Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, do you think Regis Prograis is looking to move up to 147 or?
Yeah, I mean, I think after the Josh Taylor fight, he said he was moving up. I believe the Heraldes fight was at 147. This one is actually it says this one is at 140, but I don't know. Interesting. It'll be interesting to see. But
because I know Ivan Redkach fought Danny Garcia at 147, but that might have been I don't know if Ivan Redkach just moved up for that one fight.
This fight is actually at 140. Excuse me. Wow. Okay.
Oh.
Maybe it's at a catch weight, but it's at 140. That's interesting.
I think Regis Prograis should take this one. I think it's lined up for him too, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said earlier, the Jake Paul Ben Askren thing's kind of weird, but it's an undercard it's a card for some of these guys to fight on, some of these guys to make some money, and Regis Prograis and Ivan Redkach will definitely get paid because Triller's throwing out money like crazy. Also on the undercard, Steve Cunningham is fighting Frank Mir, MMA legend, in a boxing fight. Any thoughts?
I mean, I hadn't seen Frank Mir,
I think
striker.
Cunningham's gonna beat his ass.
Who's Steve Cunningham? Is he the one that fought Tyson Fury?
Yes, a heavyweight.
Frank Mir's gonna fight him?
Yeah, and Cunningham was a cruiserweight world champion.
No, but in a real fight,
yes, like a boxing fight.
Like this isn't an exhibition.
Well, technically it is, but because they have big gloves on, but
well, I mean, I
no
hope.
headgears.
Because if not, Frank Mir is gonna be. I mean,
I think Frank Mir is gonna get his ass.
Yeah, Steve Cunningham. I mean, that dude's no joke, man. He's not a Jake Paul. Like this dude's gonna freaking. This dude can seriously knock Frank Mir out in like one round if he's not careful. So I don't know. I don't know why they would make this fight.
Some more boxing cards this weekend. Demetrius Boo Boo Andrade is defending his WBO middleweight title against Liam Williams.
Okay. What the hell's up with Boo Boo Andrade? God damn it! How come nobody wants to give him a fight? Nobody wants to give him a fight. Nobody wants to fight him.
I don't know. Good friend of ours, Robert Garcia's fighter, Alexis Espino.
You gonna fight him?
He's gonna be on the undercard.
Oh.
Yeah, on the undercard. He's not here on ESPN's website, but I know my buddy Pita will be out there in Florida. And on Fox, also on Saturday, Tony Harrison fighting Bryant Perella. Tony Harrison beat Jermel Charlo.
Oh, and then lost?
And then lost to him in the rematch.
Okay.
Even though the rematch was a close fight.
Yeah, no, Tony Harrison's been looking like a different fighter as of late.
A guy they're pushing hard on the undercard, Vito Mielnicki Jr.
Okay.
Welterweight. And Omar Juarez against Jesse Roman.
I got a friend named Omar Juarez.
All right.
I hope that's not him.
I hope not either. It's at 140. I don't think that's him.
Damn, he must have lost weight. All right.
Okay, last card of the weekend that we're previewing here. We got Robert Whittaker taking on Kelvin Gastelum in a battle of top middleweights in the UFC. Alex, talk to me about this fight. What you think?
I mean, it's definitely a good fight. I do think Robert Whittaker will edge it out. I feel like Kelvin Gastelum's last fight, he just, I think he looked good for a 3-rounder, but I think people are selling Robert Whittaker short because of what happened to him against Israel Adesanya.
Yes.
And I just feel like this isn't going to be the case. I feel like he's going to be able to get past a guy like Kelvin Gastelum, which Kelvin Gastelum's a talented guy, but there's something missing. We just don't know what it is. And we've seen it in interviews. Joe Rogan's talked about it on his podcast. Like, Kelvin Gastelum's a really elite fighter. He's not able to put it all together. Maybe we don't know. We just don't know what the thing is that he's missing. But that's why I feel like Robert Whittaker is probably going to edge this one out.
Any reservations? I got a question for you real quick before I give my opinion. Any reservations with number 1 ranked Robert Whittaker fighting number 8 ranked Kelvin Gastelum? Does it do anything for Whittaker to win?
Man, he can get the rematch with Adesanya.
But I mean,
could get the rematch.
But did he really need this fight to get that rematch? Is what I'm trying to get to, because Gastelum's ranked number 8. Like, how does beating the number 8 ranked guy give you a title shot? You know, I don't get it. Like for Gastelum, if Gastelum was to beat Whitaker, yeah, he beat the number 1 contender. Hell, give him a title shot. You know, but I just don't see how this fight helps Robert Whitaker when you look at the numbers. These two guys were supposed to fight last 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, Robert Whitaker, I believe, got sick the morning of the fight, right?
Right.
After weigh-ins, he did not feel well. He ended up not fighting for a while, huh? After that, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. And he fought who's the guy that he just beat? Cannonier?
Yeah.
He beat Cannonier, right?
Yeah, Whitaker, yeah.
Yeah, and I felt like Whitaker looked really good in that fight. And Cannonier is a dangerous guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think for Whitaker to win that fight, it was important for him. Mm-hmm. And when Gastelum, beat the guy that he just fought, it was a good win for him. I just feel like maybe, it's because, Derek Brunson, who's Marvin Vettori, I feel like these guys just aren't big enough names, so maybe that's why Whitaker's Gastelum's able to kind of leapfrog them.
Okay.
And then he put on a really good fight with Israel Adesanya that was like fight of the year candidate.
True.
So maybe that's why.
That makes sense. But
yeah, I think Whitaker should win this fight, and hopefully it's a good one.
I agree with Whitaker winning the fight. I would like to see Whitaker fight Adesanya again, because yes, it was a second round knockout, but in the UFC, sometimes these knockouts are a little, I'm not going to say fluky-ish, but the knockouts are more common. So I think a rematch, I like how they don't do immediate rematches. They make the guys earn their rematch unless it was a really close fight. But in this instance, I think Whitaker, is going to earn the rematch beating Kelvin Gastelum, even though I don't think he should fight him, if that makes any sense. On the undercard, Jeremy Stevens taking on Drakkar Klose. Any thoughts?
No, I hope we see Jeremy Stevens knock somebody out.
Can't be mad at a Jeremy Stevens fight, because either he's knocking somebody out or he's getting knocked out.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing.
Andre Arlovsky's stepping in on I think a week's notice to fight Chase Sherman. Dude, Arlovsky's like his record.
What's wrong with Arlovsky, man? He's 30 to stop fighting.
30 and 20 or something like that. 50 fights.
He's been on a rough end of a lot of stoppages as of late. So I don't know. Oh, who's that guy? Hold on, go down. Luis Pena. I think I just seen him fight familiar. Not too long ago. Yeah, I don't know the rest of those guys.
I know. I'm looking through the prelims cards.
Oh, here we go.
Tracy Cortez.
Yeah, Tracy Cortez.
Actually, there's somebody else on this card.
She's an up-and-coming MMA, UFC fighter.
I thought there was somebody else on this card.
Oh.
Another young lady who is a great fighter. Is it this card? No. No, I think I have the wrong card. Anyways, Tracy Cortez, she'll be on the prelims. She'll be the main event of the prelims on ESPN.
Cool.
Both prelims and main card are on ESPN. That's pretty good. All right. Well, we've been talking for long enough. Thank you guys for bearing with us while we couldn't record, because we wanted to be safe. Better safe than sorry.
Yeah, we may not be able to record as much. My brother has some good news. Want to tell him the news?
No.
He may be leaving.
Thank you for downloading this episode of the Hey Sports Podcast.
He may be leaving.
We'll talk to you guys
he may be gone. This is the last episode.
We'll talk to you guys next time.
Or not.